Hello everybody, I'm Clown. You've probably seen me in Twitch chat, probably not. In this video, I will break down Risk of Rain 2, Huntress, Strafe vs Flurry. It will go in depth about which one is better for speedruns, looping, casual play, everything. Everything has been researched, and I guarantee you, I've probably read more than Twitch chat. There will be a few categories: disclaimer, TLDR, real speedruns, you know. The timestamps are in the description if you want to skip around for certain information. Disclaimer: Risk of Rain 2, especially speedruns, are not a spreadsheet. Runs vary wildly and are almost incomparable, even with the same survivor on the same difficulty on the same stage at the same time, due to the immense amount of luck that goes into every single factor of the game loop. So don't take everything in this video as concrete fact. Take it as information. I'm giving you this information so that you can come to your own conclusion, what I believe to be the correct conclusion that I've determined. Now, why do I think I have the correct conclusion? Well, let's get on to it. TLDR. Flurry is better in casual runs when you're looping. For speed runs, Flurry's not better. It is an extreme gamble, and by extreme, I mean extreme enough to where you shouldn't gamble it. In 99.997% of runs, it's not better than Strafe. Oh, but actually, it's better if you have 2 pairs of crit. On paper, statistically, it's better, because you should be getting crit if you're going fast. And you should be going for the fastest possible run. Well, armchair statisticians, let's check. Now, for continuity's sake, I am a college statistician, or I'm going to college taking applied statistics, and I've played Risk of Rain for about 500 hours. Okay? I know what I'm talking about when I know these speedruns. I've watched speedruns. To explain why Flurry is worse in 99.997% of runs, I did something a lot of you saying it's better probably haven't done. I watched the speedruns. I've watched every single speedrun that's been submitted. Okay. And in the top 10 Risk of Rain 2 gauntlet, proc categories, only one in the top 10 submitted runs have had more than 2 pairs of crit classes. They had 3. This means, due to the math that I will explain next, Flurry would have made them go slower, possibly causing them to even lose the run. This is most evident in the fastest run by My Angel Kai, or My Angel K, K-E-I, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, with a 21:34. Where he had only a single pair of crit. Now, he's the fastest runner. Why doesn't he have more crit? Well, the game is random. It's not a spreadsheet. You don't always get crit. Statistically, if you have 2 pairs of crit, Flurry will be better than Strafe. But that's on a spreadsheet. You know, 2 pairs is pretty easy. It's a common item. You should be getting 2 pairs almost every single run, right? No, you don't. If you actually played the game, or watched more than one speedrunner, or watched any speedrun that's been submitted, you would realize this. The game's not a vacuum. The game is loose, it's wild, it's random. Which means anything can happen, including not getting any crit on a world record 1. Now, by Twitch chat's theory, the fastest run to date will have to use Flurry. On paper, it's better, right? No. Risk of Rain 2 is not a spreadsheet. We already went over this. It's a video game. Now, people want to fight me on the spreadsheet angle. They think they're smarter than me, which some of them probably are, but I guarantee you most of them aren't. But if you want to fight spreadsheets, let's fight spreadsheets. I created a spreadsheet where 1 million Risk of Rain 2 speedrunners submitted a run every single day to the website for an entire year. An entire year. That's 365 million runs of Risk of Rain. That's a lot of gaming, alright? But how many of those runs would actually be good? That's a little harder to calculate. You need a little bit more brain power for that. Let's take an example. I watch Wollie Gaming. He's currently the third ranked speedrunner. Holds third place at the moment. He has been grinding for weeks at runs, every day for about 6 hours, depending on his mood. He has submitted 1 run. Now, he has runs that he could have submitted, runs that are his personal best, but he hasn't submitted them, because that's what he does. All power to him. Now let's say Wollie could have submitted about 3 or 4 runs so far in his attempts. And let's just say he's been attempting for about a month, to make it more simple for you armchair statisticians in Twitch chat. That would mean Wollie would have submitted 48 runs if he did this for an entire year. That's a lot of runs. That's more runs than's on the entire Risk of Rain to proc gauntlet category. That's a lot. This would mean, assuming all Risk of Rain players are able to make the same choices and are as skilled as Wollie, so every of those 1 million speedrunners we talked about from before are as skilled as him, think like him, and make the exact same decisions as him, that only 11 million runs would be able to crack the top 3. Now, Will is a good player. He's an incredibly good player. He's in the top 0.03% of submitted speedruns. So, just statistically, he's in the top 0.03 speedrunners. Which might not statistically be true, might not really be true, but right now we're going for it, since you want to argue statistics with me. Pulling from an earlier statistic, if only 10% of the runs benefit from Flurry, now where'd I get 10% from? Well, I watched every single speedrun in the top 10. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but only one of them had 3 glasses. So, in only one of them, it would have been better, which is where I get the 10% from 10 from. In 10% of runs, Flurry would have been better than Strafe. So only 1.95 million runs would benefit from Flurry. I mean, that's a lot of runs. I could crack, it could be down to 15 minutes. But let's simplify it even more. If you in the chair right there, submitted a speedrun every single day for an entire year, only one run would be able to benefit from Flurry. I mean, that doesn't make sense. I mean, 365 million runners, and wait, if only 0.03 are as skilled as Wollie, and if only 10% of those as skilled as Wollie is able to benefit from Flurry, then, oh god, only one of those runs would be better. This would mean in 99.997% of runs, Strafe is better than Flurry for speedrunning. But this doesn't make sense. I mean, Flurry is, on paper, it's better. But that's the thing. Risk of Rain 2 is not a spreadsheet. And it never will be. That was the main thing I was trying to prove with this video. Now, I've submitted all my information. I have laid it out for you, and if you want, you can call it bogus. But I've done the work. I've done the work that nobody else has. So, if you want to dismiss all my evidence, that's fine. If you want to completely ignore what I've been saying, that's also fine. But I want to try to convince you to think before you type like a monkey on a typewriter. Telling someone that's far better than you that they're doing something wrong with something you know nothing about. Thank you so much for watching. That's it.